vinyl community, Jeff back again. In my last video a couple of days ago, I showed how I received a box of 6 albums, and I showed you 3 of them because they were all related. They were all Saint related, and I talked about that. So let's talk about the other 3. In a previous video, a couple videos ago, I had shown the Deliverance, Camelot, and Smithereens redo, the re-recording of the 1995 Deliverance album, Camelot and Smithereens. Now, as explained there briefly, the album was, recorded, but there was a lot of extras that were supposed to be in there, some narration, some storytelling, things along that line that the record company didn't, I guess, approve financially or whatever to have done or whatever. So the album was released just music only, and, it wasn't always something that the singer was happy with. He wanted it to be more, and so he went in and over the past couple years re-recorded it. So that's what this is. Now, when they were releasing that, the record company went ahead and put out 100 or 200 of these, another limited run vinyl. This is, and I mentioned it in the video, I showed the CD, but this is the actual 1995 edition without all the narration and everything. And they put this out, as a limited run vinyl so we could have it. Black wax, not the fancy here. They got the, typical insert. It's got details on all the different players. And like I said, the other one is different because it's been re-recorded, and not all the same players that are on this one played on that one, obviously. So there is a difference. And just, for the collector's sake, I had to have this because I wanted to have both of them on vinyl. So anyway, yeah, you can grab that. Both of those Camelot and Smithereen versions are available, Retroactive Records, boonsoverstock.com. You want to get those quickly because, they are limited. There's only a couple hundred of them. Now, the other ones that came in at the same time, and I've seen others showing these, so you may have already heard of these, are the reissues of the first 2 Bride albums. Now, Bride started this album in 1986. It is, U.S. metal. They're from Kentucky, which doesn't say much about them, but as far as sound, they've been described as a little thrashy, but not really high-range vocals. If you're familiar with Bride at all, they went on, they still are putting out good music even to this day, and they put out quite a few albums. Well, this takes us back all the way to 1986. They had just renamed the band Bride. They used to be called Matrix, and they put out this album. Now, to me, this album sounds different than pretty much every other album. It's kind of hard to describe, but to me, this album always felt a little different. And not bad different, just different. And so I always kind of categorize this. You kind of follow Bride through their career, and they go through spurts and changes like a lot of bands do, different styles and stuff. To me, this one always kind of felt unique. And so anyway, great to have it. And it is, they added some bonus tracks, which are a couple, basically the demos when they were Matrix. I discovered the band back when they were Matrix. I had ordered stuff. They were advertised in magazines. I had ordered some of the Matrix tapes. And so I'm familiar with most all of those songs. Has a insert. Thank you, Scott Waters, for the wonderful work on the inserts and layouts and designs. It is on a beautiful purple. Kind of goes along with the colors on the cover. And it does also have a fold out, what did I measure this? It's not a 12 by 24, but it's, I don't know, a little smaller. Not quite 2 full pages, but, and again, if I'm not mistaken, I remember seeing this picture back in the Matrix days, but I don't know. I guess it was all around the same time of time. Anyway, yeah, so 180 gram expanded exclusive liner notes. Now, that's not the first time. That was because it was 86. That had been released on vinyl. And I do have an OG copy, which I showed. I got this maybe a year or a little over a year ago. The only reason I show this, and I showed this at the time, the insert in here, the lyric sheet insert, was written as is signed by the guitar player Troy. Thanks a lot, Jewel. Hope you enjoy. Troy T. So anyway, Jewel sold her copy, and I picked it up. So anyway, I'll probably move that along to some collector who wants to have both, the old and the new. Live to Die, their second album, 1988. This, I think, is where the band really kind of came into their own. probably one of, at the time, probably one of the best albums that we, you know, had got. I think it's so different from the first album, but yet kind of familiar. But it's just everything, just their sound is kind of coming down. His vocal style, not quite as high at times, yet still has that high range. There are a couple live bonus tracks on here. So yeah, of course, limited run vinyl. It is this, you know, one of my favorite albums back in the day, and this is where the band actually had gotten more musicians and changed the musicians and everything, and it had a fuller sound. And I just, back in the day, I actually had communicated with Troy via phone and everything, because back in the day we didn't have email. So, and he was sending me home videos of them in the studio recording, and home videos of practices and goofing around and all that stuff. So I got to really see the behind the scenes stuff that went on around this time, and the different musicians, and it was just great. I need to pull those out and give them a watch again, because that was just some great times watching them home videos. This is on this nice splatter. It's supposed to be kind of, so the album cover, you know, is tan with red letters. It's got some purple in it. And this is supposed to be tan and red. The tan is more transparent, so it looks a little less dark, but, and again, it's got the insert with the lyrics, and it's got some stories from musicians and information about the guitar player who passed away years ago. Again, nice layout there. This one also comes with the poster, which features 3 of the members of the band at least. So, great stuff. Now that completes the early Bride years, because a couple years ago, 2019, retroactive release Silence is Madness, which is their 3rd album. Great stuff. This one may still be available. And if they are, you want to grab these, because there's first 2. And if you can get this one, it's on a random, I think random colors for that. It's different. And then just this past year, 2021, just a couple months ago actually, Gerda Music put out the next couple albums. Snakes in the Playground, probably most everybody's favorite sound. Very much that late 80s, early 90s, Guns N' Roses-y type, you know, just straightforward oomph metal, just great stuff. Kinetic Faith was a little, they had little toys toiling around with some different styles there. Hard rock in here, but just a great album. Great album. All of those. So basically, like I said, now we have the first 5. And the last couple Bride albums, the most recent 2, and then one before that we have. So there's still a little error in there that hopefully they'll go back to. Scarecrow Messiah, which followed Snakes in the Playground, and is similar in style, is one that I really hope comes soon, because Snakes and Scarecrow, to me, are kind of like bookends. They're very similar in sound and just a great album, so I'd like to see that. And then after that, they started changing styles a little, kind of went into different rock eras, and they did reissue Drop, which was the next album. They reissued that on CD a couple years ago. It sounds great. So there are some in there that the sound starts changing. So I don't know. Hopefully one day they'll continue, because none of those were on vinyl, but hopefully they'll continue putting all those out. But if they don't, I would really like to see Scarecrow, and I'd be totally happy with that. Great stuff. Check it out. You can get most of these at boonsoverstock.com from Retroactive Records. They are almost, I think all of them are limited run. Go to music or go to limited run vinyl. limitedrunmusic.com, limitedrunvinyl.com. You should be able to find all of those, but somewhere between Boone's and girdermusic.com, you should be able to find all of those Bride releases, and you're going to want to jump on board because they are not going to be around for long because they are very limited. I'll be back. Rock on, rock hard.